wake up, stumble out bed to the kitchen to make your first cup of coffee, your first of many for the day. You scramble, find the remote to turn the TV on and see what's been happening around the world while you have been asleep, if that is what you call last. It's tossing and turning, struggling to catch a few Z's, only to find out that the world is in even more chaos than before. You laid your head down last night, now you only know there is only one place for you to visit before you go insane. One asks what that even is, so you turn on the best show to help make sense of it, and that is the Panic and Rehab Show, where you're reminded of all the noise. It's just that noise that they want you to panic over. Watching Panic and Rehab so eases your mind and heart, and it will make you even noise before the end of the Now you're done with your third cup of coffee and ready to face the world. But we all know when you wake up again in the morning and you turn on the news, you will need your daily dose of the Panic and Rehab Show. To remind you that the sun did rise and it will set, and all these other problems in the world will come and go, which is what you are reminded of as long as you tune in. And yours the Panic and Rehab Show.
All right. Well, good morning. Welcome to the Panic and Rehab. I'm the guest host today. I'm T. Skillet, along with Empty Pockets podcast. James, how's it going this morning?
It's going pretty good. You almost said deep throat. I heard it. It almost come out that way.
It almost did come out deep throat. There you go.
And see, I asked you to help us out this week, and I failed you 2 days in a row.
That's okay. You
Yeah,
got. That's all right, James.
But I'm here this morning.
Yeah, it's not a problem. I mean, this is the Panic and Rehab Show. This is non-political show. We try to make it non-political. It's so hard. You know, we have our large defensive wall up of non-politics, but it still creeps in like undertow. You know.
Well, and sometimes, and I was just discussing this with somebody else. They said, you call it non-political, but yet some of the events in history that we bring up are political events. But that's just because it's part of history. We're not doing it to have a deep philosophical discussion over the purpose or the reasoning behind the day or whatever they did. It's just the fact that, okay, on this day in history, this happened, or this person was the president at the time this was going on, or whatever it may be.
Yep.
You know, and we do. I mean, you're right. Politics creeps in a little bit everywhere, but
Yeah.
we try not to make it like a serious conversation to where it overtakes the show, because we're here to have a good time.
Oh yeah. And this show was developed by Tyler. This was a young man that was working out of Richmond, Virginia for a radio station. And he would have to get there at 5 a.m. to start turning on all the computers for the 23 radio stations that were broadcast. And they were broadcasting a show at 6 a.m. So he had to be there at 5 a.m. And he's a ambitious young man. And he said, why don't we do a podcast for an hour about birthdays? We'll take the day of the date of the date, and then we'll see what happened on that date for birthdays, on observance, and famous points in history. So he made this show, Tyler. Then he left. He moved from Richmond to Florida, took a hiatus for a couple of months, and supposedly he's going to come back and do the show again. But we took it over. So we were just these old guys that were helping out him, getting up at 5 a.m. Man, that was some early wake-up calls. But
I got used to the schedule.
I did too. Here I am, newly retired. I just moved back from Fort Lauderdale to Orlando, and I'm back into my house that I only spent weekends at for 9 years. I would come up for the weekends, and then you don't get anything done, James, on your house during weekends,
You're not supposed to. You're there to relax.
Yeah. So I came back and this is where my wife and I are going to retire. We're going to retire in this house. It's not too big. It's not too small. It's single story. It has a pool. So I've just started from the front to the back, from the left to the right. And I'm redoing the whole thing, making it our retirement home. So it's a big undertaking. And, the nicest compliment I got yesterday was that going between the hospital and taking care of my elderly 90-year-old parents and trying to help out my sister who's had the load for all these years. So for 9 years, my sister's had the load, and at least I can take some of that off of her. So I'm at the hospital all day with my dad, who's just can't get out of bed anymore. I feel really bad. He was a very active person, and he just can't get out of bed anymore. So anyway, we're working with that. And but I was able to get a couple of things done before I headed to the hospital yesterday morning. And because the show is so early at 6, I got a couple of things done. I painted the numbers. I sanded the numbers to the house, and I painted them a couple of coats, and I painted the screws, which is easy to do. You just drill your 8 holes in a piece of wood, put your screws in the holes, paint the tops, and everything looks brand new, right? Yep. So I mounted those. And so when I got home last night at 8 o'clock, my wife said, hey, the house is looking really good. You took the ladders off the front of the house, and these new numbers you bought for the house are beautiful. They're just perfect. I said, honey, those are the old numbers. I just painted them, and I steel wooled them and made them look new. She goes, that's incredible. They look brand new. You didn't buy those? I'm like, no, I painted them. So that was it. So, that's what women, I don't mean to say this, just between us, you and me, James, that's all women kind of notice is a clean front door, a clean entry, right? Yeah. But they don't notice anything else. I mean,
oh no. and Tim, I apologize in advance, but I've been goaded into doing this. The chat room has told me I have to do this. So, bitch, fucktard, slut, and cunts, and throw in throw the dart, bitch.
Oh man, you making me get the dartboard back out.
Well,
okay.
You weren't even on the show the other day, and you darted me.
I did dart you. I darted James. You sure as heck did.
What is it? I got 12 points.
You had 32 points.
Oh, 32 points.
All right, well here I'm setting up the dartboard, James. I'm setting up the dartboard. All right, so let's see. That was 3, right? I believe that was 3 cuss words.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay, we're gonna get to the 2 and 3 later in the 4 and 5 later in the show. Okay, you got 18 plus 3, you got 21 points there, buddy. 21 points. I'm marking it down. 21 points. All right.
What can I say if I'm anything but an overachiever?
That's right. You are an overachiever. I even screwed up my camera already this morning. All right. You got me. You got me. All right. Well, today is the 24th of June. You know, the 22nd of June, Monday, was the longest day of the summer. So the 24th, it's the holidays and observance. It's midsummer. So we are in the midsummer. Okay.
Right. Yeah. July's right around the corner. Yeah.
July's right around the corner. July 4th, celebrating 250 years.
250. 250.
250. Midsummer is celebrated widely across Scandinavia and Northern European country with bonfires, flowers, crowns, and dancing. So break out those flowers, crowns, and let's all get dancing. Let's see.
And you know where Ronan is, it's their winter.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in Australia, it's their winter.
Oh, I got you. Perfect. Yeah. All right. Well, it's also, for Ronan, it's the International Day for Women in Diplomacy. So there you go, Ronan. That's for you, buddy. Women and diplomacy. So he's a woman, right, down in Australia?
Yeah, we'll say he is.
Okay. All right. There you go. whatever he recognizes.
Yeah. Well, he recognizes pretty much as a I'm not even going to give him a compliment. I'm not doing that. I was going to give him a compliment. Then I thought, well, it don't sound right giving him a compliment coming out of my mouth.
No,
so I can't do it. It's a strain on my internals. You know what I mean? I can't do it.
Well, and I'm not going to pick on him because that's sad. That's sad when I have to pick on somebody. So I don't pick on anybody. You know why I don't pick on anybody? Because I can't take it. I can't take it. They start picking on me, I get all upset, and then when I get upset, it turns to unfortunate historic moments.
Well, you see how much I get picked on my own shows.
Yeah, right. So no, you have a good crowd. Ronan's like the best. I love it. I love listening to you guys.
Yeah, he is a little asshole.
I know. Everybody's got one. That's one thing. Everybody's got one.
We had a good podcast tonight. Watchman, who's always in the chat room, we finally got his mic working because I'm always wanting him to come on the show and talk. Mm-hmm. And he's had problems with his mic ever since I've known him. Got to where he started coming into my chat room, and we're going to start a new show Thursday night, and I wanted Watchman to be part of that show, and so we did a practice podcast tonight. He didn't know he was going live. Uh-huh. I said, let's just do a private call, video call through Rumble, and we'll test your mic. He didn't know I was going to go live. So he's like, what are we doing?
That's the best.
Baptism by fire, baby.
That's how they did it to me. They go, Tyler's moving. He can't do the show. Here, you do the show. And I'm like, well, what do I do? And there was silence on the other end, just total silence. And I'm like, well, I'll try to figure it out, So it was baptism by fire.
Yeah, right. And started my radio station this week.
Oh, congratulations. Yeah, what did you name it?
We're changing it. It wasn't. I was naming it Buckeye Valley Radio, but Larry, who's my partner in it, wanted to call it Truth Radio.
Perfect.
But I don't want it to be like all conservative stuff because we're going to do so much more than, politics is a small portion of that radio station. Uh-huh. When you hear the word truth anymore, people like Truth Social, you hear about, red pilling, listening to the uncomfortable truth. People equate it with conservatism, and that will turn off a lot of the audience. So we're working on getting that fixed. So hopefully I got to send Citrus 3 an email or whatever, see if they'll be able to do it. Anyway, that's a small glitch in the I've already got the music. We already got music started on it. So I got to get the app started, but I have the link for all my friends. like I don't think I sent it to you yet
Mhm.
because you didn't even know I got started this week. But and there's not very much music on it, by the way. It's like my personal music, my hit, my stuff, and
Mhm.
then an album the Larry's goddaughter and another guy created, and so that's the only music that's basically on there right now. But I've got about 100,000 songs I'm getting ready to upload on it, and
Well,
then
as soon as I get, as soon, I'm going to be your roving. I'm going to be the roving reporter for Buckeye Valley Radio because that I'm going to be your Buckeye roving reporter. How about that? I'll be your
that'll work.
Buckeye roving reporter, right?
Cool.
And because I want to go to Washington so bad and take photos and do interviews in front of all these fountains that are beautiful now that had graffiti written all over them that were broken, and the Democrats can't wait to mess them all up again and put graffiti all over them again. It's like for some reason they think that's the how people should live. It's the craziest thing ever.
It is the craziest thing. They they go towards the most weirdest stuff to spite themselves.
Yeah.
Knowing that their personal homes don't look like that.
Not their mother's homes. Yeah, their parents' homes
Yeah.
that they live at. Yeah.
So yeah. So
I'm I just think goth took over a portion of our population and they're just like anti everything. So it's no,
yeah, like punk rockers that never
yeah,
grew up. Yeah.
just goth it, it's like give me a break, I mean, not everything is evil, at all.
Absolutely. But we'll get. I'll tell you a whole lot more. I think I've talked to you a little bit about my ideas of the radio station that I wanted to create.
Sure.
And so it's happening. It's here. It's finally gonna. Okay.
I just saw that's great. That's great.
On with the show.
That's right. Oh yeah. Well, anyway, that is funny. That's funny. Well, I think it's great. Good luck with it. I look forward to it. So it's going to be fantastic. I look fantastic. Yeah. So anyway, also today, famous for being the Jean Baptiste Day, major culture holiday out of Quebec, Canada. Quebec, they French people are such a pain in the ass. Even when they have their own little community away from France, they have to have their own rules, just like Muslims. They have to have their own rules and regulations. So the Canadian government granted, or the English government created Quebec just to kind of put all the French people in and let them speak French in Canada. They don't speak French anywhere else in Canada except
Right.
Quebec. Except
Everybody
Quebec.
Everybody else speaks English.
Right.
Yeah.
And so so you have to go. You enjoy Canada and the food and the people, but you always have to spend at least 2 days in Quebec so you can appreciate all the nice other people in Canada other than Quebec. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah. I have some car friends that live in Canada.
Yeah.
Of course, they're not political at all, but they're old school car people, and they're just like us.
Yeah.
You would not know that they were north of the border. You would think they were just like in one of our states here in the country.
Mhm.
They're that based. It's unreal.
Well, they Chevrolet and Ford, I think, have Canadian or had Canadian manufacturing.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Remember, like the Chevelle in Canada, they call it the Beaumont.
Okay. Yeah.
They'd add their own little special names to it, but it's the same vehicles. And like even international trucks, are in Canada that are made in Canada. So
sure.
Yeah. So it's like I said, it is I'm a little disappointed, as I'm sure most Canadians are, about as we are with our own government, but the Canadian people themselves are, for the most part, great people.
Oh yeah. Well, in 2008, when the housing crisis and the banking crisis happened, Florida really wasn't affected that bad because we had the Canadian tourists that were still flocking to Florida and buying properties. The part of the land grab, or the part of the property depression that we had was people buying 2 or 3 or 4 homes on speculations and getting loans for them. And they basically just let the houses go back to the banks. So the banks had a plethora of properties, which, that was unexpected. But the Canadians bought the properties. So they actually helped people out trying to get rid of properties instead of going into foreclosure. So
Well, that's cool.
so Floridians, weren't hurt that bad. They were at least able to unload some of that.
The problem with the real estate in us, and it's been happening for a long time, is back in the day when I was young, your house payment, if it wasn't over more than one of your paychecks in a month's time, you get most of the time, you get 4 paychecks most months, that you couldn't afford the house payment. It was too rich for your blood. And then they started doing all these special financing. And then it was like 40% of your monthly income, then 50%. And in some states, they said 60% of your income, is a house payment. You can, and then if anything happens in life, a hiccup of any kind, you were screwed.
That's right.
You had nothing.
Yeah. And I was so fortunate. I married this beautiful young lady who just moved from Pittsburgh to Orlando, and I met her.
No, Ronan.
And I met her, and she was a nice gal. Came from a poor family, a lot of kids, 5 kids, 5-kid family in Pittsburgh. Dad worked 3 jobs. Mother was a nurse. I mean, these guys worked their way through college. She had a big college loan where my parents paid for my college. So, I met this girl, and so we got married, lived in an apartment, and then she started to go house hunting. Well, she goes to one of the nicest neighborhoods in Orlando, and she goes, I want one of these houses. And I'm like, oh yeah, honey, we can't afford those houses. Oh, we can afford it. You wait and see. And I'm like, okay, go ahead. Go with the realtor and go look at all these fancy houses. She looked at all these fancy houses, and she came back. She goes, we can't afford these houses. I'm like, I tried telling you, but you had to find out for yourself, right? So I didn't get upset about it. I said, but here, let me introduce you to my friend, and he'll show you some houses that we can afford that's in our budgets. Okay. They're a little bit smaller, but it'll be ours. And, we started our life together in small houses. Okay. But they were ours. She didn't have to go to the laundromat. She didn't have to go to the community laundromat at the apartment complex, which she hated. She was the laundry Nazi. That's what I called her, because if somebody kept their clothes in the dryer over the time period, they were on the floor, buddy.
Hey, I got stuff to do. Get them out.
Right. They were on the floor. And then she would stand there, go, I put them on the floor because the time was up. You need to get those clothes out of the dryer. I mean, it would be like, I was like, I got to get out of here before they kill her,
Now I know why you're afraid of your wife.
Exactly. I mean, she was like, TikTok, let's go, right? So that's a true story. So anyway, we've always had houses, and we've moved about 5 times in Florida, and we've always had houses that we can afford, but they weren't the biggest, and it didn't bother us because we didn't start out with expectations. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Nah, I bought my first house when I was 23, and by that same model rule, if it ain't 1/4 of your monthly income, you couldn't afford it.
Right.
And I've owned 9 homes since. And I still own 2. So,
Yeah. I mean, it's a home, it's yours. But these young people, unfortunately, because of cell phones, they see these Taj Mahals, they see these Bel Airs, these Hollywoods, these whatever, and they want $1 million house, and they expect everybody to finance it and let them live in $1 million house. They've set their expectations so high that they'll just be disappointed for the rest of their life, and that's just no way to live. It's just no way to live.
I mean, I'd have never thought that somebody working at McDonald's would make $20 an hour.
No, it's a starter job. All McDonald's does is teach you to be on time for a job.
Right. It's
an
entry level job. It's
And
supposed to be minimum wage.
right, and understand there's a process. Hey, you take the fries out of the bag, you put them in the fryer, you fry them for 7 minutes, you put them in the stainless steel bin, you throw some salt on them, and you be nice to
Oh,
customers.
see,
That's a good lesson in life. You know that.
you're breaking my heart. You know, it was the last time I had salted French fries because I'm not allowed sodium anymore.
You know,
So I haven't had a salty French fry in months.
I don't use ketchup or mayonnaise on my French fries. I just salt and pepper French fries, and that's how I eat them. I ate them like
Yep.
that my whole life. You know.
Yep.
Okay, well that's pretty much it's the International Day of Women Diplomacy for whatever reason. So we might as well go ahead and celebrate Claudia Steinbaum's birthday because she's president of Mexico. James, have you ever in your whole life thought a Sheinbaum would be president of Mexico?
No, and ain't she a transplant from California or someplace?
I have no idea where she's from. She is a drug cartel protector.
She
They
is. Yeah.
she has been protecting cartels. There, you know, Mexico is a little different. It's a huge piece of property. Okay, large country that's owned by about 6 families. There's about 6 or 7 major families that own all of Mexico, and they live in such a protected area that they fly into their properties. I know pilots that fly their planes that land on their own private airports and go to their houses because that's where they live.
Right. When you hear that word compound, every time I hear the word compound, the first thing I think about is Mexican drug cartels.
Well, they'll never be arrested because the cops have to travel 40, 50 miles into the compound
Yeah.
to the property, you know?
Exactly.
And if they can make it through that juggernaut, good luck, you know, because no army probably could make it through that juggernaut.
Well, I was going to say the cartel armies are stronger and more lethal than the Mexican army.
Right.
So
Exactly. Right. The only what they fail to realize that if they piss off this president that we have right now, it's a bad day in Bethlehem for him. You know, that's all.
yeah,
That's all I gotta say.
because they do live in compounds, you can turn those compounds into parking lots.
Yes. Yes. It's like, but anyway, happy birthday, Claudia. Yeah, God bless you. You're president of Mexico, and your last name is somebody that should be a law firm, Scheinbaum, and Berkeley. You know,
I was going to say, yeah, she's part of the group, the Jews.
that's right. There's a Mexican Jew.
Yeah, because most of them are usually Catholic, right?
Yeah, very
Yeah.
much so.
Yeah.
The Spanish missions that are all throughout Mexico, you know, they tell you when to get up in the morning, they tell you when to take a morning break, they tell you when to have a siesta and go to sleep for the afternoon, they tell you when to get back up, they tell you when to have dinner, they tell you when to go to church. They have basically the whole day, the whole week planned out for you, that the only day that you're fornicating are on Thursdays, Wednesdays and Thursdays, or Thursdays and half of Fridays. That's about it.
You just described my last marriage.
Yeah, exactly. It's strictly on the schedule, you know, strictly. All right. So let's see. Also, a famous birthday today is well, it's World Cup time. Okay, World Cup every 4 years. So the last World Cup was in Dubai, and
Dubai is such a beautiful country.
I guess. And
It's a desert. It's a desert terrain, but I mean, they've spent a lot of money turning it into one of the most ultimate rich getaway places to go to. It's unreal. It's beautiful.
Well, so the last World Cup was in Dubai, over there, and in Morocco, right? So it's all very Middle Africanish World Cup. All right, so the World Cup.
Is your phone ringing?
No,
Oh yeah, it's not mine.
not mine.
Pull your.
No phone's ringing.
Somebody's phone's ringing. Do you hear it in the chat room? Yeah, I'm hearing it. I'm freaking out here.
Oh,
It's all right. There you
Maybe,
get it. It just went away.
maybe God's calling you. Anyway,
Not, not,
I expect a call anytime. So my sister's going to the hospital this morning at 6. All right.
I
So
go ahead.
and we have a meeting with the doctor, but they're this is how they make an appointment, because I tried to say what time and where do you want us to be, and he said, well, I'll be at the hospital from 6 to 2. What kind of an appointment is that? So you want us at the hospital from 6 to 2
Sit
or
there
what?
all day to have a 5-minute conversation with him.
Yeah, they want to do. Yesterday they wanted us to approve open heart surgery for a 95-year-old. Okay, yeah, that's not going to happen.
No, that's more dangerous than probably his issues, right?
Right. We want to go the route of medication for a while instead of open heart surgery.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't blame you.
At 92, they put a pacemaker in him. At 92.
Okay, and
Yeah. Okay.
you know, you know, you're God bless you. You're lucky that your dad's because 94
Well, he
is
is. He's very active. I mean, he's
yeah.
very active guy. I mean, he gets up and he walks around and he's productive. He was more he was more with it than Joe Biden at 92, you know.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's good that you've had this much time with him.
Yeah, the only thing I regret is I wish he could go out like Ernest Borgnine in that Viking movie when he had to fight the pit of dogs, the pit of dogs, and they gave him his hatchet. They gave him his hatchet to go and die with a sword in his hand.
Yeah.
That's how the old man wants to go, because he was trying to get out of that bed yesterday, because he was reaching for that sword to go to Valhalla. He was like he was. The poor old guy, just like have a plan, take the beach chair at the beach, not the hospital. Go to the beach chair and just kind of hang out,
Yeah, yeah. If they can't do nothing for you,
Right,
go be where you want to be.
right. Me, I'll be at the poolside,
I mean, I'm sure you guys be more than willing and happy to take him wherever he wants to go and hang out with him and do whatever
Yeah,
and make sure that he's okay. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
The,
Yeah, and don't give him a gun, because he'll shoot us first before, Yeah. He'll be like, you guys, I've been waiting a long time for this, No. Well, anyway, so it's the famous birthday today of Messi, and he's the World Cup. So the World Cup was in Morocco and Dubai 4 years ago. This year, it's every 4 years, like the Olympics. And this year, it's United States. So we have all these soccer fans from all over the world, because they had all of the countries got to participate, and including Haiti. Everybody is here from everybody, even Iran, Iraq.
it's
Uh,
too dangerous in Haiti to have a soccer team.
no, they have a national soccer team.
I know it's a joke. Remember, they can't go home because it's too dangerous.
Right. Well, you don't. Hey, they're going to have a bus call that everybody has to load up on the bus, the Haiti team, at 8 o'clock in the morning to fly home, and I guarantee you nobody's going to be on that bus, man. Not one soul.
My buddy's kid. I'm taking her back and forth to work now since he passed away, and she works out at the Love's truck stop, which is where the bus stop is.
Right.
Guess what's still coming here off the buses?
Haitians.
Haitians.
Yeah.
Still.
Sure. Well, they have a NGO that's paying them for housing, food, and a job.
Yep. Exactly.
And they come pick them up in a free van. What? Where was I in high school with a part-time job that somebody would pick me up in a van and go take me to work?
Yeah, I mean, I would have liked to have that. Have a shuttle.
Yeah.
Get back and forth to work. Yeah, that would be nice.
That would have been great. Hey, Bob, morning. What you got? Your mom made you a biscuit. Here you go, driver. Here you go, buddy. Yeah.
But it just dumbfounds me that they're still coming.
Right.
And the Supreme Court's going to be bringing down the ruling any probably the next week or two of whether the TPS will be still in place, or they'll, like Trump tried to originally do, is end it and send them home.
Well, we have a lot of Haitians in Florida. In fact, we have the largest
I was going to
population.
say, yeah. And
Yeah,
some of them come up here from Florida.
Oh,
Thank
sure.
you very much.
Well, it's expensive in Florida. You know, it's very expensive to live in Florida. Thank you very much. But no, we have the largest population of Haitians in the United States here. And we've had them for quite a while, Miami being the largest, and then Orlando being the second largest, because we have a hotel industry, and your bed, your sheets are washed, your beds are made, your rooms are cleaned by a Haitian, okay? Because they work very hard. But they also are incorporated with these NGOs, and the NGOs get money from grants, and then they pay to organize those workers. One year we had all these Russians, all strictly from an NGO, okay, all an NGO, and the people work for the NGO, and that money goes back and forth, and then that money gets spread out to political parties. Doesn't go to any Republicans. I'll guarantee you it doesn't go to a Republican, but it goes to all these Democratic parties, and that's basically how it's funded. What people don't understand, they don't realize yet, they don't believe it because they just can't believe it's true. Our taxpayer money, our tax money, part of our whatever $39 trillion in debt, that goes to those NGOs. They pay those NGOs. So it's our own tax money working against us. That's what people don't believe it. They think you're lying because it's just impossible, you know?
Yeah, no, it's not impossible.
Yeah.
We've made that argument here time and time again and have showed receipts.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's just like, what does it take to convince you people?
Right.
What do you need to know?
And so what Act Blue does is that money goes into the Democratic Fundraising Act Blue, and then Act Blue separates it all into these little teeny donations from all these people in the United States that don't even know that their name is being used giving donations.
Oh yeah, it's you know, right now, and we have, you know, the little controversy going on right here is so many of these people that are on TPS are popping up with Social Security numbers.
Amazing how that is.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's only 21 states that gave their voter rolls to the DOJ so they could check them against foreigners. Basically, the United States, the DOJ asked for all the states' voter rolls so they could just compare the Social Security numbers and the names with people that are here, not illegally or illegally, but they're foreign born. They're not a U.S. citizen. They're from another country, whether they're here legally or not legally. They got 21 states. The rest of the states said, BIPCA, we're not giving you the list. Forget you, right? Of course, that's California, New York, Minnesota, you know, so forth and so on.
Yeah.
But out of the 21 they checked, there are thousands of illegal aliens, thousands of foreigners registered to vote with Social Security numbers. How the hell they get Social Security numbers, James?
It's a lot, you know. There for a while they were saying well, it's a small number, so you know, if somebody passes away, somebody sells them the Social Security number. It's like a valid, invalid Social Security number. No, these are new Social Security numbers. Yeah. So how does that happen?
Exactly.
And under the Trump administration, even.
Yeah, because government is so big. It used to be just to do big projects like build a bridge, build a reservoir, you know, build the intercoastal waterway so our ships wouldn't get blown up by German U-boats. I mean, it made big projects. It paid for big projects. But now our little $1 billion baby is out of control, right?
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
It's too large.
Yeah.
Too large.
So, all right. So today's birthday is Messi's birthday, who's this famous soccer player from Argentina. So all these fans from all around the world have come to the United States. Now, if you think our press is bad and it's one-sided, you should see the press overseas. It's all one-sided. America's bad. America isn't what it used to be. America's a terrible place to live. Blah, 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 blah. You know, It's terrible. Well, these soccer fans are here now for the month, or they're here for about a month and a half. They're having the best times of their lives. They're going to the Waffle Houses. They're going to Love truck stops. They're traveling the country. They have no idea how big the United States is, so they think they could go travel to New York, Chicago, and then go to California to see a soccer match. They don't realize it's going to take them a week to get out to California. You know, they have no idea. You know, and
Right.
so but they're learning. They're learning. So they're on Route 66. They're getting to know the American people and spending extra days that they didn't expect. And they are finding out that we are the best country, fun, service with a smile. The biggest surprises is free refills. They can't believe that you can go to a Waffle House and have 3 or 4 cups of coffee and only pay for it once. They can't believe that. They don't understand. They said, I have a glass of Coke with my hamburger, and then the lady comes by and refills the Coke free of charge. It blew their minds. And they're like, we heard that Waffle Houses are dangerous. That's their favorite restaurant so far. Number 1 rated restaurant is Waffle House.
Waffle Houses are just fine till 2:45 in the morning.
Yeah.
Then it kind of pours out of the bar into the Waffle Houses.
Yeah. And they can't believe how friendly Americans are. Like people are taking people into their homes and stuff only because again, it's a time thing. They had no idea that we have 3 time zones in the continental United States and a 4th for Hawaii. So I mean, they have no idea, you know.
Yeah, and we kind of forget because we argue amongst ourselves so much that we are a delightfully friendly, joyful nation for the most part. You know what I'm saying? There's no time to stay angry all the time, and there's no time to be impolite to each other. There's just, we've had fatigue on that for the last several years.
Mm-hmm.
And so now people are getting over it and starting to be friendly again.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Well, you wrote a song about it.
I did.
What can we hear it? It'll be the first on it'll be the first on Panic and Rehab.
Now explain why I wrote the song.
I asked you to write the song.
Yeah.
I gave you an outline.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, let's see what we can do with this one. Now that's the 3rd song, because the Maytag washing machine song.
Now, James, that was your spin on the Maytag.
It's all my spin. It's all my spin.
Do you think I'm gonna let my wife hear that she ain't sitting up on top of the Maytag? Are you kidding me?
Well, no, and you didn't say that. You just said, you talked about with your shorts and the bra. That's all you told me.
I told her that.
And I added the rest.
Yeah, that when you've been married for 42 years, that's about as good as it gets. As my underwear and her bras, mix it up in the washing machine. That's about it. That's it. So yeah.
Yeah. All right. And then the every dent in my truck has a story.
Which it does.
It was also your idea.
Which it does.
Yeah, and you have your stories with your dents in your truck. I had to give you my stories. And like I said, the police are still looking for the truck.
That's the best ending of it.
All right, here we go.
The world lied to me when I went to the USA. I fell in love with America this summer while traveling sea to shining sea. Packed up my soccer fan gear, could not wait to visit the USA for a month this year. Gonna see all of it. Everyone told me what to expect, but I had no idea. Unlimited refills, nice folks with goodwill, clean bathrooms, bright and still. Good food served with a smile. Could not find these things in a scale that was easy to see. I searched hard, but I found they lied to me. Unlimited refills, these folks with goodwill, clean bathrooms, bright and still. Good food while served with a smile. Why have I been lied to all this while? Although these things were not exactly true, what I found was much more. Let me tell you, my USA souvenir is freedom shining bright. I found out in the USA that anyone can be anything and accomplish anything they set their mind to. So in America, all I found is this truth: let freedom ring. Unlimited refills, nice folks with goodwill, clean bathrooms, bright and still. Oh, good food served with a smile. Why have I been lied to all this while? I found out in the USA that anyone can be anything and accomplish anything they set their mind to. So in America, all I found is this truth: let freedom ring.
That's a great song, James. I'm telling you, that's a winner right there.
Well, you heard my other two new releases this past week. I think I sent to you.
Yep.
Those were a little harder. Those were a little harder to write emotionally. But I think I'm getting the knack of this songwriting.
Oh yeah, it's your prose, it's your writings, and then they put it into music with AI, which is awesome. Well, this
Yeah, but it's all. The one song I sang.
Oh, that's awesome.
You did the song about my friend. I sang that song.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. I mean, I heard that,
Yeah,
but I did not know that. I've had a lot going on with Dad in the hospital, so
yeah, that was me singing it.
okay, all right. Well, this is that was for the soccer fans, and this is Massey's birthday. Did I tell you a story about Massey? Massey is this famous soccer player, and he lives in South Florida. He plays on the Miami soccer team, but he is part of the Argentina World Cup. So whenever Argentina has these huge tournaments, he's there, and he brings thousands of people. Well, they played a tournament. They played in this South America tournament. They had the championships in Miami, believe it or not. Even though they played in South America, they had the championship game in Miami. It was a bigger venue, big international city. And so they sold all the tickets. Everybody had a ticket to a seat. 2 hours before the game, the people that didn't have tickets rushed the stadium, got in under the fence, got in over the fence. They were hiding in the stadium, and they had an hour delay of the game because they had to get all the non-ticket people out of the stadium. That's how popular this Massey guy is, right? He looks like a plumber. He looks like somebody who would show up with a work box to work on your pipes. He doesn't look like a big athlete. He's not big and tall. He just looks like a plumber and like an average Joe, but transformed. He's a soccer god. Who knew? He's like Flood Flintstone, right? And so he has a short little run. He's very fast, and he's always at the right place at the right time, which means he's the smartest guy on the field. Okay, when you're you don't have to be the biggest football player to intercept to be the star of a football team. You just have to be the guy at the right place at the right time more than anybody else. So you better and that's Messi. So here I am, I'm getting my knee rehabbed. I had a little operation on my knee. It wasn't a knee replacement, just a little laparoscopic, surgery on my knee because I climb roofs, right? I climb roofs for a living and evaluate damage. And so I had to get my knee fixed. I couldn't take the pain and the swellage and all that kind of stuff. So I had the operation done. Then I did rehab in Fort Lauderdale. Well, I wanted to go to the sports rehab because I climb on ladders. So my insurance company gave me that latitude to go to the sports rehab. So I'm in with all these guys and I'm pushing sleds. I'm doing the bikes. I'm weightlifting. I'm doing everything that an athlete would do for my knee. And I'm at, late 50s. Well, guess that I came in for my appointment, and the guy said, "Listen, we have to cancel your appointment on site. I'm sorry, we'll make it for another day, but we have a famous person in working out." I'm like, "Okay." He goes, "Do you know who Messi is?" And I'm like, "No." "Are you sure?" "Yeah." "Okay, then you can come in." I worked out with Messi. I didn't even know him. I had no idea what he looked like. I still don't even know.
So because you wasn't a fan, it was okay to work out.
Exactly, because
they didn't want you to go goo goo gaga
and want an autograph and all this other stuff
and be a nuisance.
Right. And in this rehab place, they had a neutral buoyant thing. What do you call it when you get on a treadmill? They had a neutral buoyant treadmill. It cost about $1 million. I got to go on it once. You put on this biosuit, you put on this rubber suit like you're going to go underwater. Then they fill it up with air and you can run on the treadmill weightless. And you see your legs move by a video camera underneath you. So you look at the video camera while you're running and you can see your legs move. He was on that machine, and they were rehabbing his leg. I guess he had surgery or something on his leg, a little bit of surgery. And so he was rehabbing like me, but he was using the machine. I got to use it once. I bet he was on it all day long. I mean, he was, that was awesome. But I wouldn't know this guy if he was right next to me right now. I wouldn't know if that was Messi or who it was. But to the soccer fans, they would be going nuts.
Yeah, and soccer fans are fanatics. I used to think American football fans were fanatics, but no, they got nothing over soccer fans.
My girls played volleyball, and a lot of professional athletes, girls play volleyball. So we had Dan Marino his daughter played volleyball. He was out of a Miami team. So I would see him when we would go to these tournaments, Chicago, Atlanta. I would see Dan Marino. So did all the other dads. We never asked for an autograph. We didn't even go up and talk to him. We let the dads enjoy watching the tournament that their daughters were in. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like like an unwritten code that you don't mess.
It's family
time. It's not sports fan time. And hey, can I have a autograph? Could you sign this football time? You know what I mean?
Right. If you're going to do that, you're either going to go to one of the games or you're going to go to an event where that is exactly what they're there to do. I agree with that. I've seen a few famous people in my lifetime, and I've never, ever thought, I'm going to go bug this person for an autograph. I never.
I had in Orlando, the tournament in Orlando was held at the convention center, and there was over 100 volleyball courts in one room, James, 100 volleyball courts. So you have two teams of high schoolers. You have no idea where your daughter is. Turner, the basketball player for Orlando, he's like 7 feet tall. His daughter was on our team, and that was the only way I found the courts where our teams were playing is because
they're over there.
I could see Turner. I could see Turner, right? And then I would beeline over there. Well, guess who I meet one day? Alex Baldwin. He looks just like you. He looks just like you with a beard and everything on. He was incognito. He was there to watch his daughter play volleyball. You can always.
I have not shot anybody yet.
You can see the dads that have no idea because they have a look in their eyes and they're walking around going, I have no idea where the hell I am. Where am I going to find my daughter? And they're all the teams are named the same. They're named after ISIC or sports names of the volleyball equipment, right? So
Right.
so I said, well, sir, is your daughter playing? Yeah. I said, do you have? And I didn't even know it was Alex Baldwin. And I go, do you know what team she's on? Yes. And I said, okay. I said, he goes, why won't they let me in? And I said, because you haven't bought a wristband yet. So the first thing you got to do is buy a wristband. So I took him over to where you buy the wristbands, and he bought a wristband. And then he's carrying this little luggage with him, this little roller bag. And I said, okay, we're going to go through these big doors. You're going to go to that big board over there, and you're going to start asking all the people where the court is. He goes, thank you very much. It was Alex Baldwin.
That's
I
pretty
know.
cool.
I didn't even know who he was. Not a clue.
Well, I can tell you how adamant I was never to like ask for autographs and stuff. I think I've told you this story before. I literally, because I used to run service calls, chains and semi tires, in my early days, right? Is one of my part-time
Right.
jobs. And I changed a tire on the side of the road on I-70 one morning, like 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning. And it was George Straits, the tour
Oh,
bus.
that's awesome. I love George Straits.
And he come out and talked to me while I was doing it. And I didn't even realize it, because I didn't pay attention what the side of the bus
Mhm.
said. And so when he walked up to me, I recognized him instantly. And I'm like, okay, I better continue doing my job. And he sat there and talked to me while I was doing the job. And then, it got done. And I thought, okay, there you go, sir. They, obviously the bill was covered, remotely by their card or whatever. I didn't have to collect any
Mhm.
money. Sometimes you do, you know what I mean? I said, so, sorry, you had the flat tire. You're on your way now. You have a good morning. And he come up to me and he handed me $100 bill.
Wow. That's a lot back then.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. Yeah. And he shook my hand. I didn't like reach out to shake his. I said right there, and I could have asked for an autograph. Not sure he would have gave
Yep.
it to me. But I was like, no, this dude, he's been waiting around. He's, nobody wants to sit on the side of the highway, let alone somebody asking for an autograph, while they're dealing with
Mhm.
this. And so, but yeah, I was, if I could have afforded it, I would have probably framed the $100
Ah,
bill.
yeah.
But back then, Daddy had to use that
Right.
money. So,
Yeah, what's his song? What that favorite song is? I got a list or something, a list on the refrigerator or something. He had that one. I sold your bed for $1 or something like that. I mean, I sold our honeymoon bed for $1 or whatever.
oh yeah, I
He,
can't.
he was sell,
Hell,
he's selling all this
he
stuff.
had one or
Yeah.
two hits. He had one or two number one hits almost every year for almost through the entire 80s.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And into the early 90s.
Yeah.
So he that is the goat of country
Oh,
music.
well, they're all that whole age group is the goats of country music.
Yeah, but I mean he was consistent. The rest of them had their issues up and down, whatever, alcoholism, bad marriages, whatever. He was consistent. He was on point. It was business for him. He did his job. He made sure that you got a good show, and he kicking out the hits.
Yeah, hit after hit after hit. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Also, let's see. So we've got Messi. We've got Mindy Callan is birthdays today. Jeff Beck. He's a famous entertainer. He was born in 1944. George Pataki. His birthdays today.
Yeah.
George Pataki. Yeah. Who can? Robert Reich. I hate Robert Reich. He's a dwarf. The political guy worked for the Clintons. Robert Reich, little guy. Yeah.
I don't remember. Oh, wait a minute. I do. I know who you're talking about. I didn't know his name, but I do remember seeing him with them. Especially against Bill, because Bill's a tall guy.
He's a midget. I mean, he comes in right underneath Hillary Clinton's boobs. I'm sure. So, all right.
That's short.
That is short.
because they hang, they sag so far now.
I
So.
can't imagine. But in 1911, race car driver Juan Manuel Fernando, and he was a famous race car driver. Argentine racing Formula One from 1950 to 1958. And he was El Mastro. They called him the El Mastro because he won 5 Formula One championship titles before he retired. The guy, that's pretty good, So say what you want to. That's pretty good. So
yeah, because people are, NASCAR races are one thing, but these Formula One races where they're all road courses.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very difficult to stay consistent to get that many championships.
Oh yeah, and the NASCAR guys, they invited the Grand Prix drivers to come over and race one NASCAR race. They invited Hill, who was from England. They invited some other famous Grand Prix drivers to race a NASCAR. They came in 1, 2, and 3, right?
That's pretty.
You know why? They cheat like hell. They cheat more than NASCAR does. I mean, it's like you're talking about exotic metals. They know exotic metals, So it's like, yeah.
Yeah, but the thing about that is they are also not used to being touched too.
Yeah.
Because in America, Rubbin's racing,
right,
as far as NASCAR, and Grand Prix and all that stuff, that's a no. Because if you're touching an open wheel tire,
right,
which will flip you completely off the track and upside down.
You bet. All right. So what happened on this date, the United States Air Force made a report on Roswell. So there you go. In 1997, on this date, you like modern history, so I'm kind of going to modern history. You know how long the Masonic lodges have been around?
That was part of my podcast tonight.
Yeah.
I don't think we got into the original origin dates, but they'd been around. Well, I'm trying to think. Obviously, most of our founding fathers, were.
I have my great grandfather's Mason books right in my living room. Two big volumes, two big volumes that thick each.
So I'm not quite sure, but I know it's before the founding of America.
Oh yeah, it was 1717 in England. So in St. Paul's Church. Let's see. Today in 1948, the Soviet blockaded West Berlin. So the Soviets, after us winning, us helping them stay part of Russia instead of Germany, right? Russia, Germany. Yeah, they decide to block U.S. the whole world and block off West Berlin. So yeah, thank you very much, the Russians. They were the first Iran, Russia, all go in the same boat, All right. In 1973, on this date, the arson fire in upstairs lounge in New Orleans, community of the French Quarters, resulting in 32 deaths of arson. That's why I hate arsonists. I hate people that light their own houses on fire. Their burn fires, because we have so much plastic in our world now that the firefighters have to wear oxygen masks on every fire. Every single fire, they have to wear their oxygen mask. Okay. Yeah.
Well, even those people who set their cars on fire for insurance money,
they're the worst. The worst.
And firefighters, even if it's outdoors, they still have to do it because of the plastics and everything that a car is made out of. And if you get the wrong whiff of that, it could damage your lungs.
Yeah, and then the byproduct of all these electric cars, as we found out, is you can't put them out if they catch on fire, man. It takes like a billion gallons of water, and the fire lasts for 3 days on a battery operated car. The worst problems that they're having is bringing in the electric cars from Europe on the car carriers, and the cars catching fire in the ship.
I wonder why they don't disconnect the batteries during shipment.
They probably do.
You think they
I
do?
I don't know what happens, but they had a car carrier on fire in Europe. They brought the ship into a country over there off the Mediterranean or wherever it was, off the English Channel. They started unloading the cars that were on fire. They had to block it off because they didn't want the press to see. They took an ocean container that was open, filled it full of salt water, and a crane put the fire car into the water of the ocean container and let it smolder there for days.
Damn. Well, electric cars and like these data centers, a lot of power. Phone is how you bring it. And the deal, like where I live, they already did an estimation of like we're trying to keep a couple of data centers out of our area. There ain't enough phone in all the fire stations in the entire county that could put out one of those fires if one was to happen.
Technology's happening too fast. It's too fast. They're going to start building these mega centers without the proper engineering to say what ifs.
Yeah, and then like they got to supply their backup energy, because there's going to be a strain on the electric grid. Their refurbished Boeing jet engines is going to be their generators.
Well, they've developed this new technology. I've been telling you about it. That they have nuclear powered generation systems that are on rail cars that can power a whole city.
Any reactors.
They can power a whole city. All right.
I'm all for nuclear energy because they've learned that they can do it in a smaller scale, which makes it less dangerous.
Well, let's talk about that. A nuclear powered submarine. Do you think that's a great big old generation unit? No. Nuclear powered aircraft carriers. Do you think that's a big power plant? No. So.
Right. I had that very conversation yesterday with somebody saying, look, we've been going around in the ocean for a long time now. I said, so why are they so against powering up our cities with the same? Because a nuclear reactor in a sub can power like Dayton's like 150-some thousand people. It could power half the city. Just by what a sub is
for $50 a month. Thank you very much. Instead of $450 a month.
I'm all for it. I and it just, what the problem is, it just makes too much sense.
It's the government isn't there to help people, James. The government's there to control you, James.
Well, the worst thing you can hear is, I'm from the government and I'm here to help.
Right. That's it.
When you hear that, you better grab your ankles.
That was just like my dad yesterday. If he keeps trying to get out of bed, we're going to restrain him. So you're going to restrain a 94-year-old, Okay, great. That's what I got to deal with for the rest of the day. And I was getting in trouble because I was going to the nurse station and they're like, sir, we have things to do. You'll just have to handle it yourself. I'm like, why are we even here then? Put me on the payroll.
Is he opposed to going around in a wheelchair, or does he feel like he wants to
Well, that's the problem. So for the last 3 weeks, I've been taking him to doctor's appointments, and I said, Dad, you're not exercising enough, because my mom, remember, it all kind of started when my mom went into the hospital. Well, she's still in the medical center of her retirement center. So he doesn't have anything to do all day in their apartment in the medical. They live in one of these retirement communities. So you have apartments, then you have a medical center, then you have the geriatric center, which is the final level. Okay. And the old people, they don't want to go to that one because they know they'll never come out of it. Okay.
No, they just want a little medical assistance at home. That's all they need.
Don't get that in the apartments. They're not allowed to. So if you fall down in your apartment, you got to call the fire department, even though there's a medical center on site.
Well, that makes no sense.
It doesn't make any sense. If you fall down in your apartment, they will not come up and pick you up. That's exactly right. You have to call the fire department, and paramedics come up and lift you off the ground. Go figure. Go figure. It doesn't make any sense. But anyway,
It doesn't. That's a shame.
because they've been sued by Morgan & Morgan and everybody else, you know. So anyway,
Yeah.
So for 3 weeks, he's just been sitting in his chair instead of helping out mom, who's blind. My mom's blind. Okay, that's part of the radiology, or taking for cancer radiation. That's
Right.
that's one of the side effects, is sometimes you lose your sight. So she's at the end of her sight. So he helps her. Okay, he's always moving. Well, for 3 weeks he's been sitting in a chair. So we put him in a wheelchair just so I can take him to his doctor's appointments, because I don't think he'll make it. So he kind of got used to that wheelchair. Now he fell out of bed. He can't get up, can't get out of bed now, and we don't know what to do. You know what we need to do is attach him with those robotic things on his hips and let him easier get out of bed and walk around.
If you could afford it, those I've seen, they're actually selling those now. I think that's the coolest thing.
The coolest thing, because you just don't want to fall. Because if you are so dependent on that, then you can't get up.
And if people don't know what we're talking about, it's kind of like like the e-bicycles. You pedal with very little resistance, but you're going 3 times faster than you would normally be doing under its own power. So you got this feeling of being powerful without being powerful.
It's an exoskeleton. That's what it's called. It's outside of your body, but it's attached to it's attached with a harness system, and it gives you a little bit more mobility assistance.
Yeah. Make you like a $6 million man.
Well, with me it'd be like a $1,250 man. $1,250. How much is this? $1,250. $1,250.
$1,250.
We'll get you up and around. Hey, psst, you want to buy a used one? Hey, psst, hey, used one. All right, let's see. Unabomber mails his first bomb to a Yale professor. So in June 24th, 1993, Yale University computer science professor David Gittner is seriously injured while opening his mail when a padded envelope exploded. That's nice. People that send bombs in the mail. Isn't that what, there's no bigger wussy in the world. What a coward, what a coward.
My thing is don't you have anything better to do with your life than to do these kind of things?
Yeah.
I mean, life's too short, and it's like what we do, this podcasting thing. And now you're right, I stream a lot, but I have a good time doing it. I don't make it all about an angrily point of view like politics or whatever. I mix it up. Even some of the political stuff, we have a good time talking about it. We're not trying to solve the world's problems. We discuss what concerns all of us, and then we make fun of the politicians that put us here. It's a good time.
Sure. In 1982, the garment workers' strike began in New York City, Chinatown. 20,000 garment workers, almost all of them Asian American women, packed into Columbus Park in New York City, Chinatown on June 24th, 1982, and the rally. Well, hey, they won. Guess what? They don't make any more garments in New York City. We do no. We're
and there for a while, Victoria's Secret thought they're going to have to shut their doors, but they figured out where to make them somewhere else.
Yep. There you go.
Man, I was still in high school in 82. That was my 83 is my last year of high school, a half a year. 82 to 83, spring of 83.
I got married in 82. So yeah, I married a sweetheart from Pittsburgh who didn't like anybody with clothes in the dryer too long. So if you God, I remember that.
Oh man, I have to meet your wife sometime.
Oh yeah, she's a track star. She was the fastest girl in Pennsylvania. She was just one of those beasts that at the picnics, you'd go to a picnic and she would race all the boys, and the boys at her age level, teenagers, they would have to have a 10-yard head start, and she'd still beat them. Okay, she'd still beat them in a race. She was just one of those Eastern European white girls that was fast as frickin' lightning, man, just fast. And you know, average looking lady, you know, just a normal person, just God gave them legs that ran fast, you know.
Now she has a knee issue,
Oh yeah,
right?
she's totally destroyed. So
Yeah.
she's totally crippled now. I mean,
Yeah.
just, you know, and that's unfortunately run track for Pitt and run all those races, all those years of running. It paid for a lot of her education. You know, there's the side effect. The side effect is, and these football players,
Yep.
try to meet a Hall of Fame football player that's not crippled by the time they're 50. You know.
Oh yeah, you know, and you know, like me, I have degenerative arthritis which deteriorates all your
That's
joints.
what she has. Yeah.
But I changed semi tires for decades. Which you slam them on with your
Yeah,
knees.
there's nothing heavier. That's dead weightlifting. You know, dead weightlifting.
Yeah, when you're mounting a tire on a rim, you're jumping up in the air and you're coming down as hard as you can with your knee to get that first beat on there. Then you do the second beat with the bars. Lifting.
Yeah. You're telling me I had to carry a 30-foot ladder yesterday. I had to get behind it. I had to get behind it and push it forward, then hold the rope, then let my hands go while the thing goes da 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 all the way down, and then still hang on to it, and then lean it over, and then grab it halfway before all of its weight, you know, went onto the ground.
Now, was yours fiberglass?
No, aluminum.
Yeah. Aluminum? Because see, I have a fiberglass.
And they're pretty light.
They are.
Oh, they're
it's
opposite. They're real heavy.
The aluminum ones are lighter, yeah. Because the fiberglass ones are like thick.
Yeah.
And but you know, because I had to get, you know, because of my size, everything I do, I have to make sure is the right weight can handle the weight.
Right.
So aluminum ladders like to flex and if not bounce, bend because of my size. So fiberglass ladders is the way that I've always had to do it, including my step ladders. They're all fiberglass.
Yeah.
So, but you know, I'd like to be able to have an aluminum ladder, but there's no.
Well, anyway, so I have the big ladder. So I have the big ladder that goes underneath the whole work area, over the work area, and then I have smaller ladders that I climb up on. But I'm always holding on to the big one because that's my safety ladder, right? I'm holding on to it while I'm painting or whatever upper levels. And Janet's.
That's a smart idea.
Yeah, I know it is, because I don't want to fall off a roof. See, when you learn to climb roofs, the first rule is figure out a way not to fall off a roof, and then set up your gear to ensure that you will never fall off a roof.
You know, that works good if you don't get impatient and think I'm in a hurry, I'll be okay this time.
Right.
And then when you loosen your safety measures up by trying to rush it, well, guess what?
Yep.
Somebody's calling you an ambulance to take you to the hospital because you fell. And if you're, as long as you survive, it depends on how high your house is. But,
and guess what, James? I was you know, I worked in an automobile factory, right? And so I worked in the air freight industry, and that I needed to make more money. That only paid a certain level. And so I got out of that and went to work for one of my biggest customers in their manufacturing, right? So I handled all their international shipping. I handled all their international warehouses and domestic warehouses. So I was a warehouse man, right? The only secret of warehouses is the product that you sell the most, you put it closest to the door. Okay, you put your products closest to your door that are going to move the fastest. All right, because
saving steps,
right? And you're going to load up semis. You're going to put them on, you know, palletize them, shrink wrap them, put them on trucks. So anyway, put them closest to the door. Right. That you want to run a warehouse, keep your warehouse clean, and put your hottest products closest to the door so it's easier to ship them out. Okay. That's it. That's the secret. Whoo, big secret. I just gave it out. Right. So anyway, and that's where I learned construction, inspections, that kind of stuff. So then that job went to China, and I got into insurance adjusting. 21 years. I'm afraid of heights. I don't like heights. I don't like getting on a one-story house, much less a two-story house, right? But you have to go up on the roof to look for hail damage, wind damage, measure the roof so you can adjust it accordingly. Well, now you can do satellites. But you still got to get up there and assess the damage, because the satellite images don't do the roof. You can't adjust from a satellite. You can get sizes, measure a roof.
I know you're retired now, but now with the invention of drones, you can literally inspect a roof using a drone, because the video cameras on these drones. I mean, I have a drone that's got a camera that's like crazy clear.
4K. Yeah. But here's the rule for insurance adjusting with drones and the FAA. The FAA, if you use your drone for commercial purposes, which insurance adjusting is considered that, you have to be an airplane pilot. So I would have to go get my single engine pilot license to become a drone pilot.
For something you can fly personally and not have any
Exactly.
issues.
It's a $10,000 fine. 5 to 10,000.
And that's so stupid.
I know.
Because if you're going to fly a drone for your personal use, just because you want to do it, and like a lot of people use them now to research people's properties, looking for like treasured, abandoned vehicles on all these really large properties. Instead of going up and asking permission to walk through it or doing whatever, they use drones. I can't imagine having to get a pilot's license to fly a drone to look for an old car.
All right, now, if it's for a business that you're selling old cars and you want to buy it and make a deal with the person, you'd have to have a pilot's license. If it's
what about me and my YouTube channel? Because that's why I got the drone for, is my YouTube channel.
That if you make money off your YouTube channel, you better have a license. See, that's just it. If I have a drone, all right, and believe me, where I needed a drone was I would do site inspections for major accidents of semis. So big semi, I would get called by a Chicago company, and the company would say, "Can you go out to our accident scene, measure the highway, measure the intersection, take a video of the intersection, do the timing of the lights, tell us what happened, get the police report, get the accident report from the Florida Highway Patrol, take a picture of the damaged vehicles." Well, by the time I got out there, the vehicles have already been towed to a tow truck yard. Guess what they don't allow on property at a tow truck yard? Insurance adjusters. Right. Yeah. So here comes Mr. Drone over the fence, man, taking pictures of everything. It was great. I was like, "Oh, you don't want me in your yard?" "No." "Okay." That's why I had the drone. It's like, "Oh, you're not, okay, no problem." And then they chased me, and I could fly the drone from across the highway and over there. They come out.
Oh yeah. Pissed. Especially like my drone, obviously it's got a controller, but it's ran with the app on my phone. So I mean, I have a clear picture. If I lose sight of the drone, I still
you get home and it
fly the drone.
Comes back to you. Yeah. Same thing. I had the same thing, and I had a big one. Now I have a little one. The little one's even better. I mean, the little one's awesome.
Well, I have a little one.
DJI. It's little DJI.
I know you can't. Yeah, it's about 2 feet wide and span.
Okay.
It's not
a
big
white?
one, but it's got it's black. But I got it just because the video camera on it's excellent. Or actually, I didn't get it. It was actually a present.
Mine fits right in my little backpack, and still I charge it up, and it has a little landing pad, and it pretty much flies itself. But okay, so today in history in 1889, I know I like to get these old ones in, but this is a good one. Butch Cassidy's first train heist, the first bank robbery with Butch Cassidy and his band, the two McCarthy brothers, in San Miguel Valley, where they stole $21,000.
That's a lot of money.
Back then, it was worth today's value would be $735,000. But back then, it was 20. They stole $21,000 that they admit. At age 19, on this date in 1901, Picasso did his first exhibition. The painter Picasso.
Yeah, because that's who I was thinking.
Target Corporation, founded by American businessman George Dayton as Goodfellow Dry Goods in Minneapolis, 1902. Target Corporation.
Damn, they've been around that long?
Yeah. Yeah, in 1922, Adolf Hitler began a month-long prison sentence for paramilitary operations. So they had him. They had him in jail. Germany had him in jail for a month. In 1922, they had Hitler in a cell. They let him go. How about that? If they could go back in time, right? Did you ever know that Hitler was in jail before? I didn't.
No.
Yeah.
No.
That's what I like. That's why I love doing this show. All
I knew about Hitler was he was a house painter.
Yeah.
By trade before he got into politics.
Well, he was a lover in the First World War. He liked that in the trenches. He was a little trench lover there. So I think he was gay-ish, kind of gayish.
He was versatile.
Yeah. All right, that's about it. I mean, there's lots of other stuff, but we can talk about it next year.
Well, we kind of got off base on a bunch of topics, but that's what we do.
Yeah, John Gotti began his sentence in 1992. Mafia boss John Gotti. Can you imagine? You're sitting in your cell for a little tax evasion, and all of a sudden they open up the cell door and freaking Gotti walks in as your new roommate. Can you imagine?
Yeah. But you remember that the reality show they had with his family while he was locked up? What is it, Living Gotti or something like that? They literally, because he had like two sons and his wife. It was part of that reality show. Because Gotti is a flamboyant gangster.
Right.
That's how he kind of like, he was over the top kind of deal, because they were always taught to be low profile. That wasn't him.
No, that was
he wasn't low profile nothing.
There was a family in Tampa, Florida called Trafficanis, and they ran Florida's mafia. They were the Florida mafia, and he looked like a banker. The guy looked like a banker, but he ran all the Bolito numbers, the numbers in Florida. And so the sheriffs protected that whole thing, the hooch, the illegal liquor, the houses of prostitution, and the Bolito games. So, yeah, that was all organized and run out of Tampa. And he went and opened up casinos, the Al Carib in Cuba. So his name was Trafficani, and he was very low key, low profile. You never heard his name, never heard his name. That was
right, and that's how they stayed out of prison.
So, yeah, but everybody knew who Trafficani was. I mean, that'd be the same guy. You'd have the same surprise expression on your face if you're in jail and Trafficani gets put in your cell block. You'd be like, oh shit.
Yeah.
You're like, rats. Oh, I got to throw a dart on my own, and I got 2 more for you. All right, we'll do yours first. All right, 14. You're in the day. 14 up, missed. 10. You got 24. So you got 45. Okay, and I said the bad word. So let's see. I can't leave on a dud. 17. So 45 to 17. You won today.
And I tried not to.
I wonder how Big Tony's move is going.
I don't know. I was probably gonna text him today. and like he's handicapped too.
Right.
So, it's not easy. People don't realize, oh, well, we're going to move. That's a task. If you are in good shape, it's horrible when you're got a physical handicap. So I'm sure it's very challenging. That's why he said he was going to probably be out a week and a half. So, because, a lot of stuff to do, it's him and his dad doing it. So,
And is it,
I'm happy for him getting a nicer place.
yeah, absolutely. Big Tony has helped me out personally than you would ever know, because he also has diabetes. And so we've talked about medication and practices of diabetes, and he's really helped me out. And so I'm on the Ozempic journey, and the Ozempic, the side effect of Ozempics is constipation and weight loss. Okay. But that's a side effect. Side effect is a weight loss. I wouldn't take Ozempic unless you had diabetes. If you don't have diabetes, don't take Ozempic. Okay.
But don't they offer that for weight loss specifically now?
I mean,
I thought I'd seen that somewhere to where it was part of somebody's weight loss program.
Well, I'm just saying the side effect is the side effect is weight loss, but it has made me feel better. It's better for my heart. It's bringing down my ALC numbers to 6.3. It's bringing down my sugar, so I don't even take any other diabetes medication, just Ozempic once a week. And it's amazing. So because there are side effects with all the medication that you're on, all of it has side effects. So, which is really good. So it is helpful that way. And, but
right. Well, the constipation kind of sucks, but everything else is okay.
Well, I take a laxative that you mix up in water. It's tasteless. It's just like drinking water. I wish I would have known that, because I had a boss who was a real asshole. I would have been giving him this stuff all the time. Hey, boss, you want another glass of water? Here you go, buddy. Where's Bob? Oh, he's in the shitter again, man. I don't know where he is. Something wrong with that guy. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, that would be, where was this stuff when we really would have used it on somebody?
No problem.
I mean? Because I had a few bosses like that. I would have had
no problem with a little Metamucil.
Here you go, man. I got you a nice icy cold glass
want some
of water.
Coffee? There you go, buddy. I know.
Yeah, let me get you a second.
I don't know why people.
No problem.
People don't realize that when you're working, you just want a nice, easy workflow. You get more done, less stress. Why do people have to be such dicks sometimes?
Well, I find the worst bosses are the ones that are so insecure about them in their own position that they have to try to prove something. Right. And so, I say it all the time. Anybody can be a boss. Few people can be a leader.
Right. I had this guy who, when I came out of the industry and went into manufacturing, I changed up all the contracts. I mean, I saved the company a lot of money because I knew the game. I knew how to negotiate large discounts with carriers, right? So, because I was a carrier, right? So I renegotiated all the contracts, and that was something that they were looking for, a little bit of cost savings, some insurance, and he was really upset because he wasn't getting the goodies from all the vendors that he was getting, right? So, the company's paying a little bit more, but all of a sudden there's few employees that are getting taken out to golf and dinner and whatever else. So the boss, who was this entrepreneur, pure entrepreneur, he would buy bankrupt companies and turn them around. That was his forte, man. He would get in there and just shake it up, right? And if he won, he won big. If he lost, he didn't really lose that much because it was already bankrupt, right? So he really wasn't buying them for premium dollar, right? He was buying them on the low, right? So he would buy these companies all over the world. So he bought this company in, I don't know, Missouri or Iowa or someplace like that. and it was a diode company. So he went out there to try to turn the company around, and the workers hated him. They hated him. But he had a thing. He rode a bicycle every night. So he would go back to his hotel, and he would ride his bicycle around the town because that was his exercise, his release. And the guy he would be mad at me because I would show up to work at 8, but he was there at 5 a.m. and all the other engineers were there at 5 a.m. I don't go to work at 5 a.m., man. I got a family. And I don't own the place. So sorry, I'm not, getting there at 5 a.m. So he'd always get mad at me about that. But anyway, Mr. Bike Rider, he'd be riding his bike at 3 o'clock. I'd be working till 7, but he's riding his bike at 3 o'clock. So he had this bike. So he shipped it back to Orlando from this factory in Iowa. Well, the workers there, James, what do you think they did to his bike, his 10-speed, to ship it back to Orlando? Buddy, it looked like they ran over it with a forklift, right?
Oh, it happened during shipping.
Right.
Sorry.
It looked like I shipped it out in a box, padded, protected, built corners. It was perfectly fine, right? All he had to do was adjust the handlebar. That's it. It came back, looked like a forklift ran over it.
Yeah. They put it against the wall and then accidentally backed into it with a forklift that weighs 7,000 pounds.
So Mr. O, that's what we called him, Mr. O. He's in China, went from the factory to China, to Shanghai. The bike came back, and the guy who hated me, he put it in the lockup. He put it in this cage area. Well, a good warehouse manager has the key to every cage in the place, right?
Should have, yeah.
And in case those keys are missing, he should have a hidden key for every cage, no matter what, in case of an emergency, right? So I have my little hidden keys around with my little magnetic backing all around, right? So this guy is going to hold the bike there to show Mr. O how tore up it is because of my contracts with the transportation companies, right? That did this, right? Yeah. So I go to the cage. I take the key from the hidden place on the cage. I open up the box in front of this guy, get the bike out, put it in my truck. And he's amazed that I opened up the cage, right? And I go, his name was whatever his name was. And I said, you'll never win. Just don't even try to win. You're not going to win. I'm a mile ahead of you. Okay. So I said, you're just going to piss off Mr. O, right? And nobody needs that. Nobody needs a pissed off Mr. O because he likes to fire people. So I take the bike to this bike shop. I have it all welded back together, which they didn't want to do, but I couldn't get a new bike because he'd want to know why he has a new bike. So I told the guys, you don't understand, this guy will fire 5 people if you don't weld this thing back. So they welded it all back, got it all tuned.
Damn it. It was that bad.
Yeah. They got it all back perfect again. And I delivered it out to his house, said, here you go, Mrs. O. When Mr. O gets back from China, he's got his bike all, it came back from the factory. Great. Thanks a lot, Tim. Appreciate it. And then Mr. O came to me and said, hey, the bike runs better than ever. That's awesome. Thanks for having it. I said, yeah, I took it down to a bike shop to have it tuned up and I'll set up for you. No problem. Thanks. So here I am, the hero, and the guy, he got fired. The other guy got fired because the story kind of got out, Oh God.
Speaking of bikes, I took my trike for its first ride.
Oh
yesterday.
Yeah, your new one.
Yeah.
How'd it work?
Good. It runs great. Because it was kind of a basket case, but a running bike, and so I didn't know how easy it would have been to get fixed, but it cost nothing to fix it. It had parts I had laying around in the garage already, because what had happened to it, long story short, the solenoid had went out on the starter. Mm-hmm. So the guy that had it before me tried to run a direct push button to the starter. It was smoking the wire. Right. Because there's no solenoid, no amp control. So I had an old Ford solenoid, external solenoid, found an empty spot because it's got a big old fairing on it, found an empty spot to bolt it, hooked it all up, got it all hooked back up to the handlebar, switch and everything. And I took it for a ride yesterday, and I'm like, man, this is going to be great this summer, even though we're already going into July. But it takes me a minute to get stuff fixed. But yeah, it's it's a V4 cylinder, 1400 cc Kawasaki.
Well, put a little mystery oil in it, so it's nice and lubed up. A little mystery oil never hurts anything.
The bike is purple though, and not a cool purple either. Powder, like a what I mean? Like it's a girly, like a flat kind of like you'd see in a bathroom.
Is it like a Gremlin AMC Gremlin purple?
Lighter than that. Yeah. So it's not a cool purple. That's all I gotta say.
All I wanted to do is meet the color engineer for AMC, because they had that slick lime green. They had that lime green. They had that purple, right? And then they had a dirty white. I don't know how the hell you get a dirty white, but they had a dirty white. I don't understand it. It was almost like it was leftovers, or what you wash your paintbrushes in white, a dirty white.
Yeah, so I actually have, my 56, I'm painting it purple. That's why I say I like purple, but I'm painting it a dark purple, like a plum crazy purple, with heavy big metal flake in it. So I have like a quart of it, because I got it for a sample deal, because I wanted to paint one of the panels to make sure it's what I wanted to put on the car. So I bought a quart of it to do the dash and everything, and then buy a gallon to do the rest of the car when I'm ready. So I have some of this quart left. So I'm going to paint the bike deep plum crazy purple with heavy, 0.25 metal flake in it. That's bass boat flake size.
And then, and they don't call it metal flake for nothing. After about 5 years, it starts to come off in your hand when you're holding the side of the bass boat. It's like, what the hell is this? As it's coming off.
Yeah. You gotta bury it deep into clear coat, and on bass boat it's gel coat. And but it's the same thing.
You can spray like three coats of clear coat over the top of it. That's what I always did with metal flake. Clear coat over the top.
I go a little deeper than that. I spray 4 coats wet sand. I spray 2 more coats wet sand, and which is cut and buff at that point. So so it's buried deep. It's 6 coats. Although you take a little off because you got to get the orange peel out of it. But I want it to look flat, smooth. You're not going to see any rise, because you have a problem with metal flake. It sometimes it stands on end, and it makes heavy weight or ridges in it. But yeah, so but I can't make it too shiny, because it'll blind you. So I got to watch what I'm doing on that part, because I go overboard when I do it. Because I'm one of those people that's got to be as slick as possible and as shiny as possible. Doesn't always work out well. So I think the top of the tank I'm gonna paint flat black.
Oh, nice. That'll look good.
Yeah, it's not really a tank. You know what I mean? The tank is under the seat. You know what I mean? It's not like got the gas tank where it's got a fill neck at the top. It's all to house all the electricals.
Well,
this thing, it looks like a big ass tank. Looks like but it's all to house the electricals. So it's plastic.
Well, I'm looking forward to painting more on my house, and I'll be starting on the chimney this week. It's Wednesday, so I'll be painting the top of my metal flat black or shiny black on the top of my chimney. So I'll be Rust-Oleum, and I'll wonder what crawls out of that chimney, because it's covered up with it's my fireplace is covered up with a television that shows a fire. It's one of those heat. It's got a fan that blows heat, but it's electric, and it has the fire inside, but it's fake looking fire.
Fire.
But yeah. So I wonder what's living behind it. That's what I'll be finding out.
Yeah. I'm surprised they didn't put like a mesh cage type thing so nothing could
I
get in
should
it
have done that 9 years ago when I started messing around.
when you
Yeah.
put it
So
up.
I'll be putting some wire up there after I or during the painting process too with my air stapler. So there you go. And I've only shot one
Yeah.
finger with my three
Stapler.
different air guns. So yes, I have three different. I have the penny nail, the big stapler, and the smaller stapler. So yeah, there you go. Three different sizes.
Absolutely.
All right.
Well, enjoy yourself. Be safe. You're getting up on the roof doing it.
Yeah, thank God Dad's not packing at the hospital. So because he'd be shooting everybody right now. I'm telling you, the man, he just wants out. Just give him a portable tank and let him go, man. Just give him a sword. Let him go to Valhalla, for God's sakes.
Yeah, let him enjoy
Yeah,
himself.
well, that was funny. But I have to feed Dad, so it's like I'm feeding him, and he looks up at me like, "Can you believe you're feeding me?" And I'm like, "I can't believe you're letting me feed you, Dad. I can't believe that." So it's just hard.
Yeah.
It's hard right now.
I get it. Like, because, my mom, we took care of her the last 2 years of her life. She stage 4 cancer. So,
Yeah.
and the closer it got to the end, the harder it got because she withered away to nothing doing the chemo and all the other stuff. And she was a big woman, not as big as me, but, not a small woman.
Right.
And she probably didn't weigh 85 pounds when she passed away.
No, he is all at 250 pounds. This guy went to military high school at Baylor High in Chattanooga because he told his mom in Orlando that he wanted to quit high school and become a cowboy because they owned a cattle. They had buses. They had all the city buses in Orlando. They had ranches with cattle on it as a side business, but you had a lot of businesses back then. You know what I mean? You weren't a plumber. You were also other things. You were also a contractor and a plumber. So they had a little ranch where I live. This is where I live in Ocoee, in the agriculture area of Orlando, and so he wanted to be a cowboy. He didn't want to go to high school or college or anything. And my grandmother packed his ass off to military school the next day. Next day, Bo was on a train to Chattanooga. So off he went out of state because she had to get that idea out of his head. So then from there, he went right into the Army. He was an officer, went to OTC, became an officer, and he learned to be a pilot. And so I don't know how the hell you become a pilot in in the Army, but he did. And so when I was a kid, we used to fly all over Florida. He used to fly checks before FedEx. You take all the checks in Orlando. Let's say you had all these banks in Orlando. They had a courier service that would pick up all the out of Orlando checks for Jacksonville, Tampa, Miami, separate them, and then they would fly the Jacksonville checks to Jacksonville and Tampa, Miami, so you could crush the checks faster instead of just putting them through the mail.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So
plus safer too.
yeah, and it was a service. So he was a pilot at night, plus running the bus company. So I would fly with him. As a kid, I would fly with my dad. So it was great. I wasn't afraid to fly. And so we were in a thunderstorm so bad that I saw sweat pouring out of my dad's forehead like a faucet just coming off his forehead, right? And I said, "Dad, are we okay?" And he goes, "Oh yeah." He goes, "We're fine." He goes, he goes, "But I'm going to set it down real quick." We landed in Zellwood, Florida, in a cornfield, and right on a clay road, and we stopped, let the storm go over us. And I looked at him. I said, "Why'd you land?" He said, "Well, I didn't know if we were flying upside down, right side up, or backwards. I had no idea, Tim. So we put it on the ground." He goes, "Get out and pick some corn while we're here." So I got out of the plane and went and got some corn, Zellwood corn, and filled up the back of the plane with it and shut the door. He takes off and off we go, right? We take off.
Now, do you have your pilot's license?
No.
Did you ever want to try to get them?
I did not. I did not. That it was like I couldn't be my dad. You know what I mean? So, but he would always tell me, he would be like, you always have to fly the plane. Don't worry about anything. Just fly the plane. If the wing falls off, fly the plane. Don't get distracted. He was really a good pilot, very good pilot. and he would get in trouble because the planes, the hangar that the planes were at the end of the runway. He would keep flying low and not land it, and the FAA would get mad at him because they want you on the ground, so you get off the runway, and then, but he hated taxiing for like 3 minutes. He was so impatient that he didn't want to taxi on the side of the runway. He'd like to fly all the way almost to the hangar and then land it and then go into the hangar. So, anyway, it's a long story.
Hey,
whatever.
Well, he had the skill to do it.
Yeah,
so.
He was a good pilot, and he liked doing it. I mean, that was his part-time job. He rented out motorhomes. He had a fleet of motorhomes. He had limousines. He had a bus company. Shit, that guy was an entrepreneur, And then we had a shop with 42 mechanics. 42 mechanics just working on buses. We worked on 500 different bus companies in our shop. 500 different companies.
That's pretty good. And what's good about that is with the right motivation, anybody in America can do that.
Yeah, he treated his employees like family, and sometimes family leaves. Sometimes they leave, and you just have to get over it. And it breaks your heart. But he always treated everybody like family. He always had company parties. He always had a company cookout, and it was a happy group. It was a pretty happy group.
That's cool.
And we had to cook. So I learned how to feed 150 people at a time. That doesn't. I don't freak out when I have to feed 150 people. That doesn't freak me out.
No, because you have cookouts a lot at your house, don't you?
Yeah.
So well, half dozen people, no problem.
No big deal.
We
got to cook what? We got to cook 4 pork butts and boil up a couple of crates of corn. No big deal. Let's you throw a big thing of salad and all of a sudden everybody's happy. Yeah. So not a big deal. All right. Panic and Rehab. James, how do they find Empty Pockets podcast?
Well, Empty Pockets podcast on Rumble, Empty Pockets Garage on YouTube. I will be announcing my radio station, how to get a hold of it with the app that we're going to have for it. You also have a website, emptypocketsnobs.com. We blog. I say we because I have a buddy of mine that we drop a lot of links, a lot of information in there. You can go there, buy a hat, buy coffee mugs, buy T-shirts, towels for both sides, the garage and the podcast side. So little something for everybody.
All right. And this is T Skillet just in this week until Big Tony and James get past everything. And no problem. Thanks for being today. It's a lot better when you have 2 people than just 1 person because it's not much fun by yourself.
Sorry.
That's okay. It's no big deal. I watch. I was up at 3 a.m. texting with you guys during your show, so I like doing that.
Big Tony's in the chat room.
Is it all right? How's the moving going?
Yeah. The right motivation. Crack that whip.
That's what I feel like today. I feel like taking a whip to that hospital bed, man, right now. And like get Dad's attention, man. He's like, it's check.
Yeah, I have my quick. I have my mother's hospital bed because we got her hospital bed because we kept her at home. She didn't want to be in a nursing home or anything. And so I got the hospital bed. It's up in the rafters of my garage. And I seen a YouTube guy take a hospital bed and flip it upside down and put it on wheels and made a lift table out of it.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah, I thought, man, I got something to do for that bed.
Yeah.
Finally. I'm going to make me a lift table.
Yeah.
So
that's a good idea. All right. Big Tony, the move is going slow. That's okay. Slow but steady. I have to go out in the end of July. We're going out to California to empty out a couple of storage facilities for my brother-in-law. So I shall be having some gay art to sell. So who knows? Got a big painting of a penis. I hear. I've never seen it, but got a penis picture sell on eBay and don't. But hey, he lived his own life, and that was, God bless him. That's what he wanted to do. So whatever. I don't understand. I don't want to ever see your penis. I can tell you that. So, and I know you don't want to see mine. So there you go.
Right, and sad to say, I don't have any large paintings of a vagina.
I don't either. I don't really want to see that on a painting either.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah. And
So,
I was at Lowe's the other night picking up 5 gallons of paint, right? 5 gallons. And I had 2 lesbians making out in the paint department at Lowe's. I mean, just suck facing it right there.
you know, straight or gay.
I don't think I'd ever made out with my wife in the paint department of any department store.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Like this,
Some things
like
you
really
just-
like going for it.
right. Some things should just be left at
Yeah.
home. It really should, out of respect for anybody else. And if you don't care about anybody else, not necessarily being offended, but being uncomfortable, whether it's straight, gay, whatever, do it at home, man. You should have a little respect for your fellow man
It's
and
it's
woman.
like I'm getting the little containers that go into your thing that you paint, that you just hand around and paint, you got to get the inserts for that. I got to get a couple of stir sticks, I'm getting my 5 gallon, and we're matching the color, and had a kind of a disagreement on the color. I had to let it dry a little bit before, I accepted it. And these 2 are just going for it, man. So just have a little common sense, a little common sense is all we ask for.
A lot of times it seems like they do it just to get a shock value. You know what I mean? It's like it's a game to
Yeah.
them. They have, it makes them
I
chuckle.
guess. I don't know. Maybe you had a little vomit throw up a little bit,
Yeah, but yeah,
Yeah. I'm just trying to get in and get out, get in and get out. I got to learn.
especially if they were like fat and ugly.
No, one was tall, one was short. It was quite an operation there. Oh, well, whatever, good for you.
To each his
To each
own.
his own,
To each his own.
Now, let's say that's Orlando. So I'm getting used to Orlando. So I saw my Furrier in Walmart, and I got my suck facers in Lowe's. So there you go.
Yeah. Education.
And on that, we shall say goodbye. Okay. Have a great day.